Another $3 trillion for a fresh round of political nonsense. If you know anything about nutrition and exercise, you know that if you want strong bones, ligaments, tendons, muscles, hair, teeth, skin, nails, whatever, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. You can grab that through BioTrust. This stuff is awesome, guys. Click on the link in the description. If you don't know anything about it, you can watch a couple of the videos and get up to speed, but do yourself a favor and grab some.
On this channel, we talk a lot about the main deception that's not only holding people back, but consistently pulls humanity to the brink of societal collapse, not only in an economic sense, but also in a moral sense. It's the left versus right paradigm deception that keeps humanity encased in a cognitively dissonant sarcophagus where the entombed beg for political leaders to control them, write rules for them, and parasitically feed off of their time and laboring energies. It's a massive psychological operation designed to get us all to be pacified with the idea that if we're allowed to give our written consent to be governed, well, then we'll be happy knowing that at least we had something to do with the trajectory of our own lives. And nothing could be further from the truth. Everything under the veil of the left versus right paradigm psychological operation is a lie. And everybody involved in propagating it, whether they appear as the good guys or the bad guys, continues to do their part in ruining society. In this constant WWE struggle, the social engineers want you to pick a side. But no matter what side you pick, you've chosen the side that enslaves the mind, ruins humanity, and empowers nefarious corporate and banking interests. This right here is just one example where Representative Bill Huizenga is rightly complaining about some $3 trillion that the Democrats want to throw out to every other nation but America. And a lot of what Huizenga says here constitutes valid criticism. And part of what he's referring to in this video are these appropriations bills. The problem with spending $1, let alone $3 trillion, is that we don't have the money. Thanks to the bankers and the ease with which Americans are deceived, we are a debtor nation. When they issue money, it's not really money. It's an additional dollar or $3 trillion in debt, which serves to further enslave our unborn posterity and us. Here's Huizenga's explanation of what's happening in this particular round of broad-spectrum extortion.
Hey everybody, this is Bill Huizenga, obviously in Washington, not in West Michigan, hoping to head back home this afternoon, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be walking in for our last vote here momentarily, and I am just flabbergasted that my Democrat colleagues are going to be voting affirmative on this bill, and here's one of the reasons why. This is the state of play, where not only are we going into debt for our own country, we're now going to be going into debt for other countries. And I'm gonna, and this is kind of a little awkward, but I'm gonna read a statement that I had intended to read on the House floor, but the Democrat majority limited our time this morning of 1 minute, and so I wasn't able to get that done. So I'm going to do it here with you now, and then we're going to talk a little bit about this. So I rise in opposition to the partisan bill we have been debating the past couple of days. Under language inserted at the Rules Committee, the U.S. would direct the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to lavish $3 trillion on countries around the world. This is a permanent, no-strings-attached liquidity for foreign governments. The Democrats' bill would therefore send at least $20 billion to the world's foremost state sponsor of terrorism, Iran. It means at least $17 billion for the Assad regime in Syria. There's also more than $170 billion for the Chinese Communist Party as it takes over Hong Kong and builds internment camps, and another $75 billion for Russia. Meanwhile, an amendment I offered to prevent Americans' banks from financing Iranians who have been sanctioned for terrorism and human rights abuses wasn't even made in order by the Rules Committee. Strange priorities from the Democrats. It's obscene to attach billions of dollars for China, Russia, and state sponsors of terrorism to legislation that funds our military. I urge a vote, no vote on this bill, and I'm going to be voting no. And this is to fund our military, and we are going to be directing the IMF, which, by the way, I had jurisdiction over at one point when I chaired one of the subcommittees on financial services. It was called the Monetary Policy and Trade Subcommittee. And so I'm very familiar with the IMF, very familiar with the good work it does, and very familiar with the bad work that it does. And I'm telling you, directing them to go spend $3 trillion on countries like China and Syria and Russia is lunacy. It's completely nuts. So this is a problem. We have to deal with it. I hope the Senate. I don't have great expectations out of Michigan's 2 senators, but I'm hoping that someone in the Senate realizes how foolish this is and what we would be doing if we moved ahead with this. And so again, no hearing in committee. It got inserted in at the Rules Committee. My amendment that wouldn't allow American banks and therefore our deposits as American taxpayers be used to fund Iranian terrorists was rejected. They wouldn't even take up my amendment. Yet they slid in a directive for $3 trillion. It feels like a jillion. $3 trillion of support for countries around the world when we can't even get an agreement here in the House and the Senate about what we're going to do with the extension of unemployment or any of the other spending that we're doing. So anyway, time to take a breath. But I just hope that I just hope that cooler heads prevail over in the Senate and that they do not go in this direction.
Now, the substance of his complaint is correct, and it's apparent that our continued participation in such a failed arrangement only gets more and more corrupt officials stealing more and more of our time and laboring energies. And if we keep doing what we've been doing, that is, following the current left versus right WWE political system, then we'll keep getting what we've been getting: more debt and more enslavement. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you get something out of these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to donate to the work on this channel, the Patreon, PayPal, Subscribestar, and Bitcoin links are in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.
Thousands of people are now struggling to put food on their table.
A sea of cars jammed into a parking lot in San Antonio. More than 10,000 families waiting their turn at a local food bank. Similar scenes are taking place in cities across the country. In Pittsburgh, the line of motorists stretches more than a mile.
Hey guys, before I start this video, I just want to remind you, if you don't have a 6-month supply per person in your household of long-term storable dry food, you need to get some from somewhere. We already know they're going to do an economic reset, a currency reset, and a food reset. And if you don't have enough food for everybody in your family and you're out there with everybody else scrambling around at the last minute trying to get some, it's going to be too late. You can get it from me. It's $100 off instantly right here on this website right here, or just get it from anybody. My link is in the description below and in the pinned comment.